it can be told. At last, scenes only for the eyes of the chosen few, now revealed for all to see. Award-winning actress Glenda Jackson will thrill you with her eloquence. George Siegel gives a masterful and controlled performance.
What happened to the lady who crashed into me? Is she who?
Resting in her own room.
Plus, an explosive performance from Peter Sellers.
Anyone out there in the field? Don't worry. It's only an old salty Swedish sea dog from...
There's hair-raising adventure with Richard Harris. Plus a galaxy of international stars. And introducing Dennis Norton.
Prolonged enjoyment.
You've seen disaster movies. Now see a movie of disasters. Don't miss. It'll be all right on the night, too.
Hello, and to all foul-up fans and calamity connoisseurs, welcome to another intake of outtakes. In other words, a second version of It'll Be All Right on the Night, or as it's sometimes known, the Bermuda Triangle of the performing arts. Because, and I mention this for viewers who didn't see our first compilation, while other television programs try to portray the ups and downs of show business, this program brings you no ups. All we feature are what Jimmy Durante used to call catastrophes, or to give them their real name, outtakes. Now, if you still think an outtake is something you carry away from a Chinese restaurant, let me explain. It's also a technical term used in cinema and television to describe those bits of film the public don't usually get to see.
Marker. And action. Barnaby, I'm going to be blunt with you. You know, you've been retired for 4 years. You said so yourself.
Yeah, but the old reflex is still sharp as a colt. You ever work with horses, Cannon?
Only the $10 window. Don't remind me of it. What about Hal's wife? She's going to be needing your help now, I suppose.
Yeah, I've thought about that. The more I think of Betty, the more resolved I am to get this man myself. Cannon, show me how to put the gun in my mouth.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to the show where the brightest brain wins the biggest bonanza. Just raise your sights to the top of the smile pile and you see £1,000 waiting for tonight's fastest thinker. Let's meet our first contestant now. He is Peter Hyde from Surrey. He's a butcher, actually. And...
Authentic one. Did you say action?
Yeah, there was and there is, and the lovely dancer I danced with there, the beautiful girl. What was that?
The South Bank show offices. We work in television studios, of course, and film editing rooms, but this is where most of the work gets done. At the moment, we're setting up films in America. We're doing a film with Ernest Hemingway. He's dead.
I thought you were going to give me a sign.
Not so quick next time.
I thought last time you went like that with his hand and I kept looking and he didn't do it. Do you want me to wait for you to give me a sign or not? Oh, don't laugh at me. Go on. David, have we started? This is it? All right.
This is the wrong sketch, isn't it? I mean, I don't mind.
So how many nights a week are you doing it? I mean, pretty much all the time. I'll start again.
Start again.
Don't put that on there,
What that last item brings to mind is the point that this show will occasionally feature what you might call unidentified flying adjectives. On those occasions, in order not to offend viewers of tender sensibilities, you know, sailors, people on picket duty, that sort of thing, most of them will, as in that Janet Street Porter example, be obscured by an all-purpose, high-pitched buzz, which some of you may think is what the majority of television consists of anyway. And the other thing that I've been asked to do at this time by the film and television industry is to give you their assurance that the sort of cock-up shown on this programme only in fact happen on very rare occasions, which means that what we have for you today is something like 97 rare occasions.
There are two things we can do. A, we can get the ordinary rake and rake over the area, breaking it up.
Quite an ordinary rake, is it, Bob?
No,
it's a especially strong.
Especially strong rake, this is.
Well, there are clues all over the forest. Mr. Badger helped write them.
And now we'll pick teams of 2 out of the hat.
I'll be very sure that
The first one is by Millet, and I'm sure you'll all recognise it. It's called Bubbles. Oh, blimey.
Over the weekend, Lieutenant General Nguyen Van Tu, Chief of State and military candidate for president, finally showed up at a rally with the civilian candidates. That story from Charles Murphy in South Vietnam. We'll get that story from Charles, not quite ready yet. In the meantime, at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, the 6th annual meeting of the Midwestern Governors Conference opens today. High on the agenda will be such topics as racial violence in the cities and politics 1968. For a report, here is Don Oliver at the conference. We'll have that report a little later, too. This story, I'm sure I can handle myself.
Round and round she goes, and where she stops, nobody knows. The old wheel.
The so-called Torch of Peace is moving slowly across the continent from San Francisco this morning in the hands of a relay of runners. It is a peace campaign of a new kind. That story from John Dancy in San Francisco. You're kidding. That story a little later on. I hope we find time for all these things.
Are you coming down to the beer keller? I can't. I haven't finished with my latest score. Ah, forget it. The beer keller will do you more good. You haven't seen my latest score.
Are we going to try for some of these stories now? Over the weekend, as we told you, Lieutenant General Van Tu, who is one of the presidential candidates in South Vietnam, finally started some campaigning with the civilians. And here's that story now from Charles Murphy in South Vietnam. What page do you want, Larry? Do the weather. Probably won't get the weather map.
Turning now to our national map. Go out for you in just a moment.